live. We're live. What's going on? How you guys doing today? Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. I'm Bruce, your host for the Saturday 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time show. Yay for the weekend. I love the weekend. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Creston, British Columbia today, where I am 3 miles north of the U.S. border. If you've never been to this show before, I'm sorry. We like to have fun here. We love talking about cruise ships and vacation deals and all kinds of stuff. And occasionally I do a little bit of this, because I'm always happy. Beautiful sunny day in Creston. We're going to be at like 70, 75 today. This is awesome stuff. Goodbye to winter. Hello, summer coming soon. Fantastic. Yeah, we love talking about cruise ships, cruise ship deals, new cruise ships coming out at the sea, disasters at sea, issues. We've had one here that just happened yesterday. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today. I've got a little bit of trivia for you guys today, a little bit of geography trivia and some other stuff. So, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a few other little things, and put them all together. The channel, Traveling with Bruce channel. Those of you who are regulars, this channel started August 2017. We're like 8.5 months old. On the 12th of May, it'll be 9 months. My goodness, it's like expecting a kid. 9 months. Wow. Started with nada, no viewers, no subscribers, no sponsorship, no following, no experience. Just me. And I started posting videos back in August of 2017. And it took until about October, and we hit 10,000 views. And then in December 13th, we had 100 subscribers. Yeah. Of which 90 I didn't know. The first 10 subscribers, I know those people. They're relatives, friends. They tolerate me, After that, I have no idea who they are. And here they come. And by Boxing Day, December 26th, 150 subscribers. By January 1, 200 subscribers. By February 19th, 1,000 subscribers. Yesterday, 1,868 subscribers, and today we're up to 1,885. We've grown by 17 subscribers in 24 hours. How awesome is that? I say awesome sauce to that. That is fantastic. Thank you, new subscribers. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. If you're just joining me and you want to become a subscriber, it's free. It's easy. There's a button there. There's a button there. And beside that button, if you're already a subscriber, keep this in mind, and you haven't done this, there's a little bell thing, looks like an icon shaped like a bell. That's called a notification icon. You click on that. Every time I do a video, every time I go live, you'll get a notification like an email. And it's saying to you, hey, Bruce just posted a video, or Bruce is going live in 2 hours, or whatever it says. And so you can always click on those and get notified of what's coming up on the channel, and I highly encourage you to do it. Love the new subscribers. Love my existing viewers. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Quick update on the channel as well. We're still not monetized by YouTube. We were monetized from October until the 19th of February, 20th of February, when the rules changed. And we've qualified for monetization since February the 19th. We've been qualified for monetizations, which means I would get paid by YouTube because you folks would see a little ad at the front of my video or the front of this show. But since February 19th, now 2 months and whatever days, they have not monetized me or about 1 million or 2 other channels like my channel in size. I'm talking, we're still micro. And they've changed the rules, and they wanted to get rid of a whole bunch of bad actors, which they've done, and they're getting rid of a whole bunch of nasty copyright infringers, which they're doing. Great. It's just I'm waiting for monetization because it's like $400 or $500 a month coming to me from advertising revenue, kind of, sort of, depending on the views and stuff. And this is now the 3rd month. Would you work for free for 3 months? That's what I've been doing. So YouTube hasn't been paying me for 3 months. So I've been surviving off the generosity of my viewers, which I want to thank again and again and again every day. I'm so appreciative of your efforts. I've had viewers send me super chat donations on this channel, which I don't mind. But lately, I've been focusing my attention on how I get donations Go to PayPal is what I've been asking my subscribers to do, and they've been doing it. My viewers and subscribers have gone to PayPal. Why? Because if you send me money through Super Chat, which you can do right now while I'm on live, it's the only time you can do it is when I'm on live. I only get 70% of the money. 30% of the money you're sending me goes to YouTube to collect the money, handle it, and then they get a piece of the action. I only get 70 cents on the dollar. If you go to my homepage where the banner is at the top up here, says Traveling with Bruce, there are these icons way over here on the top right-hand part of the screen. There's a Twitter icon. There's a what is it? A Instagram icon. There's a Pinterest, and there's a PayPal, and there's a Redbubble icon. And the PayPal icon, if you click on that, you can send me a donation of any amount you want. Now, I've had people sending me $2, $5, $3, $10, some 20. I actually got a $100 donation last week. Blew me away. Thank you again for that. Had a few $50 donations, some 25s, but usually it's $5, $10, whatever. It's great. It's just, it all adds up. That's all I'm happy about. And I get 93% of that money. That's the difference. I get 93% of any donation through PayPal, and I get it instantaneously, like within a minute, it's in my account. Whereas with Super Chat, I have to wait up to 6 weeks to get the dough. So I only get 70 cents on the dollar, and it takes 6 weeks up to get, because on the 15th of each month is a cutoff time, and then it's the next month, and then the next month. So I'm happy either way. I mean, believe me, I see Super Chats, I get excited. I do this. I get a PayPal donation. I do this. Thank you again. The other way to help out this channel and help yourself is, sorry, I'm scratching my foot. Another way to help me out and help yourself out look good is go to my store, which again, on my homepage, on those icons up there, there's a Redbubble icon. It's the far one on the right, little red one, little red and white one. You click on that, you go into the Redbubble store, and if you're going into my Redbubble store, you get to see Traveling with Bruce merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, travel mugs, stickers. I have a clock now, apparently. One of the logos has a clock. What else is in there? Scarves, I think. Anyway, Redbubble, I just send them my logos. They put these on clothing. They put these on all kinds of stuff. And they take an order for you. You can choose any one you want, and they'll ship it to you direct. Here's the kicker. This is the best part. I love this part. I'm in Canada, okay? This merchandise doesn't come to you from Canada. It comes to you from wherever you are. So if you're in the United States, you get the merchandise made in the USA and shipped within the United States. There's no customs and duties. If you're in Canada, the product is ordered in Canada. It's made in Canada. For Canadian orders, there's no customs and duties here in Canada. And we Canadians, we hate that part. Whenever we're online shopping, we just get nailed with these crazy duty fees and border fees and customs, and it's not. No. The product is made in Canada for Canadians. It's made in Australia for Australians and New Zealanders. It's made in the USA for Americans. And I believe they make the product in Europe for Europeans. So it's all local manufacturing and shipping. And that's the beauty of this world in which we live, because these logos that I provide, that I have a viewer of mine who's been so helpful to me. So grateful. We've been able to send these logos in, get them sized up just right, and then Redbubble takes care of everything. So you place an order with Redbubble, they get your address, they take your payment, they take the order, of course, they manufacture the product, they ship the product to you, they back up the product with warranty and an exchange program. They take care. If you don't like it, they will make you happy. And I've been asking all my viewers, if you get a product in from my store and you get one of my shirts or a coffee mug or whatever it is you're getting, let me know. Do you like it? Is it okay? How were you treated by Redbubble? And so far, I've got over a dozen reports already, all positive, all thumbs ups. Everyone's happy. I'm thrilled. See, I can't screw it up. This is what I love about this. It's Traveling with Bruce merchandise, but Bruce doesn't screw it up. I can just do this. I can just screw this part up between me and coming too close to the camera. This is what I get to do. I don't have to worry about touching anything. I love it. It's great. Anyway, so this is way more fun. Let me tell you right now. This is way more fun than making a t-shirt. So awesome. So I let the t-shirt people make the t-shirts and let Bruce do the work on his camera and with his peeps, and it's all good. So Thank you one and all for subscribing. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for referring my channel to your friends. Thank you for sharing my videos on Facebook. Thank you for retweeting my tweets. Thank you for mentioning me on Instagram. Thank you for any social media exposure that you're giving my channel. I need all I can get because I'm a nada. I'm just so tiny. I'm like this tiny on YouTube. I'm just a tiny little guy. I'm trying to get known, and you're helping. Every time you tell somebody about me, works out. I've had a lot of folks find me because of friends, and I love it, and they're telling friends. So this is just awesome. I'm on the air Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, or evening, I guess, evening Eastern time. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a second show, 8 o'clock in the evening. Normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the 8 o'clock show is usually a travel trivia type show or trivia type show, although we talk about cruise ships and everything else. You can ask me anything you want about going on a cruise, anything about a cruise ship, anything about rules and regs and what can you bring on board and different ports of call. You can talk to me if you're on a cruise ship, if you're going on a cruise and you've got an internet package and you want to watch me live. I love it when you do that and you talk to us here. You're on a cruise ship telling us what's going on. I love that. I've had some communication in the last 2 days now with people who know people who are on the Carnival Dream cruise ship, and we're trying to get some contact from actual passengers on the Carnival Dream because I've got a little update story or a little more news here. And any other cruise that you're on. If you're on a cruise and it's going great, tell us. You're on a cruise and it's not going great, tell us. If you were just on a cruise, just did a cruise, tell us about the cruise you just did. Where did you go? What ship were you on? And how was it? Were you happy with your room? Were you happy with the food? How about the entertainment? How about the staff? Did you have any incidents on board? Did you find anything wacky happening? Tell us stories. We pass it on. We share them all here. And that's what we love to do. Okay, so people are signing in saying hi to me from wherever they are. If you're watching me, tell me, where are you watching me from? What's your high temperature going to be today? Say hi to us. The gang will say hi to you. And let's get things started. First off, I'll quickly do a little update on just a little Carnival Dream thing. It's not too much. And then I'll say hi to everybody here. The Carnival Dream, day before yesterday, had a leak in its fire. It's called the fire suppression system. So the pipes that carry the water under tremendous pressure constantly, 24 hours, 7 days a week, these fire suppression systems, try to say that real fast. These fire suppression systems carry water throughout all the decks of the ship, everywhere, below waterline, at waterline, above waterline, in the kitchens, through the hallways and the passenger areas, the restaurant area, you name it, everywhere. Certain parts of the ship have sprinklers. Certain parts of the ships just have they'll have hose connections, emergency hose connections. Apparently, on deck number 9, one of the upper decks for the balcony level, a fire suppression piping area somewhere behind the walls gave out. There was a burst because it's under such unbelievable pressure. Because at a moment's notice, there's fire on board. They want to send fire teams in with high pressure water to get at a fire, especially if the fire is 100 feet down the hall. They can't get within 10 feet of the fire. It's too hot. So they can shoot the water 100 feet, 200 feet down the hall to get at the fire and then move towards it from both ends and put out the fire. So that's why this water is under such unbelievable pressure. Anyway, a connection somewhere gave out, and we had water spewing out in droves, and we're talking gallons per minute, many gallons a minute. Could have been 10, 100 gallons a minute. I don't know how many, but a ton. And within minutes, there was a flood in the hallway for quite a distance on this one on deck 9. Okay. Water came out so fast, so hard, so quickly that the water started rising on the floor levels and started seeping into the cabins. And if anybody opened their door, what's going on? Well, water started flooding into your room. So people got towels down and tried to stop it. But after 10, 15 minutes, you got this water just coming and coming and coming, and cabins started to get flooded out on the floor. And the good news is, happy to report, they were able to shut that off, stop that. They were able to then get crew up there, and they got lots of crew. There's got to be 1,400 crew members on this ship, 3,600 passengers, if I recall. They got a couple of hundred people up there pretty darn fast, and they started cleaning up the mess. And there's video out there. I shot a video yesterday showing a little bit of a clip of the folks doing the cleanup work, and they had big buckets, and they were swooshing up the water and getting it dumped off. And within a couple of hours, they had the most of the water out, and they began then to bring in the carpet cleaning machines, the kinds that the guys push. These units look like I don't know, like a big old, like a dishwasher. They're as big as a dishwasher, except that they push them, and they suck up all the water off the carpet. And then they can also use these machines to shampoo the carpeting, which they would be doing, and then they would be spraying the walls with the kind of chemicals that will stop mold from growing from water. And in the cabins, they'll have the stewards. They had them in there immediately to assist the passengers to get them either packed and out of there or packed and get everything off the floor. And then the cruise line stepped up immediately. Carnival absolutely nailed it from a PR department point of view. They immediately figured out how many cabins were affected, apparently 50 or so. And they instantly offered all passengers who were affected by this incident on Deck 9 a full refund, cash refund for the cruise. For the whole cruise, a 50% credit against a future cruise, their choice. And then they offered folks who were in rooms, again, if you were inconvenienced enough, you didn't want to stay in your room anymore, and there's nowhere else to put you because the ship was kind of full. They were offering passengers a hotel accommodation, I believe it's in Cozumel, with a flight home, all at Carnival's expense. And that was like their opening salvo right now, no haggle required. This is just what we're offering. And the reports have been just fantastic. No, I can't find complaints. I can't find anyone arguing about this. It's absolutely wonderful. Carnival stepped right up and said, look, this happened. What are you gonna do? A pipe bursts, right? Thankfully, it wasn't a sewage pipe. It was a water pipe with fresh water, not a sewage pipe. And so it could have been a lot worse. We didn't anticipate it, but it happened, and we're stepping up and taking care of all of our guests, and everyone else on the ship is unaffected. And a lot of folks on the ship had no idea this is happening. If you're on deck 6 at the back, you had no idea this is going on. In deck 9 over there, you had no idea whatsoever. The ship was completely normal in operation. No power went out. The restaurant stayed open. Everything just worked fine. And they're back to normal. This cruise ship will be back tomorrow to New Orleans, its home port. Passengers will disembark, and new passengers will be coming back on board. In the meantime, the crew has been tidying up the last of whatever inconvenience there was up there. It's I bet you by now you can't even tell there was a flood, I'm sure. So fantastic. Perhaps one section of the wall where the pipe burst. Yeah, there's probably a hole there, and they're fixing it. But they'll have that repaired in no time. It's incredible. So I'm really happy about that. I'm happy for the Carnival passengers who were looked after. I have no idea how many have flown home. I'd love to know. I've got the word out. I'm hoping some folks will contact me who were on the ship or know somebody, and they can give us any more information. I will read it to you. But I got to tell you, Carnival, thumbs up. Way to go, taking care of your passengers like that. And I've had a lot of comments from you guys to me going, yeah, and that's something how Carnival takes care of passengers, and yet Norwegian Cruise Line, with that disastrous cruise through the Panama Canal and the 3 cruises prior to that, this reconstruction cruise that they were on when they were sending the ship eventually to Victoria for dry dock, they did dry dock work for 4 cruises and exposed passengers to toxic chemicals, noxious fumes, dust and debris in their food, in their drinks. They shut down massive portions of the deck throughout the whole bunch of these cruises. People have been coughing and complaining about respiratory issues, and Norwegian started off by offering nada to anybody, and it took a whole campaign. By the 4th cruise, the one through the Panama Canal, these folks had to finally make their own Facebook page and go to the media and let the world in on what the hell Norwegian was doing to them. And Norwegian stepped up and said, well, we'll give you 25% off a future cruise. There. We made it happen. It wasn't an accident. We planned this the whole time. Norwegian planned a reconstruction cruise for 4 consecutive cruises in a row on the Norwegian Sun, and exposed 8,000 passengers to this crap and 1,000 crew to the whole thing. The captain was powerless to stop it, apparently. He was unwilling to do anything. The help desk, useless, and people were phoning in, complaining, and were getting nowhere. And after unbelievable media attention, they upped it to 50%. They went, well, we'll give you half off. We'll give you 50% credit on another cruise. We got people who don't want anything to do with these guys. They're going, if you planned this and you put us on a cruise ship where you knew this was going to be happening and we're going to be exposed to this gunk, why would I want to take another cruise with you guys? What are you, am I stupid? And then finally, after another week of unrelenting media pressure, Norwegians offered a 100% cruise credit, only a credit, against the future cruise for the Panama Canal passengers only. And for the passengers prior to that, who were on one cruise prior to that, which was a Western Caribbean cruise, where the ship wasn't even allowed into Cozumel because of the dust coming off, they offered them a 50% cruise credit. That's it. No refund, no compensation, no nada. They apologized for the inconvenience. We're sorry. We let our guests down. The other two cruises, nothing. Nothing. This is what Norwegian's been doing. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I've been ranting about this, and I'm not letting go. And I hate to bore you folks, but I'm not letting go. It's not right. Passengers are the lifeblood of a cruise line, and if you do them wrong, you should make it right. And Carnival, just like that, didn't even have to be prodded. They just jumped into play. Now, the next time something goes wrong, we'll see what happens. Who does what, right? But here we are with one cruise line just stepping up and getting nothing but positive press, and this other cruise line still screwing around with these people. It is unforgivable. It's just ridiculous. I'm excited for Carnival, for Norwegian and their new ships. Don't get me wrong. The Bliss sounds great, looks great, sounds great. I'm happy. But believe me, how you've taken care of people on this in this situation, not good at all. And it's still costing them. Let's see who's here. Madison wrote in. Madison joined us, I think, yesterday for the first time. She said, I can't watch today. I'm at my sister's house. It's all good, Madison. If you're watching the replay later, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Thanks for becoming a subscriber of my channel. Nice to have had you here. And I hope you can join us again. I'm back on Monday. Oh, by the way, I figured out my schedule. I'm on the air Monday, and I will be on the air Tuesday for 2 shows. I thought I was not going to be on the air Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Turns out I will be on the air Tuesday, but not Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of next week. So I've shifted things over. So I'm on the air Monday and Tuesday coming up, but tomorrow, my day off. Okay, here we go. Kathy Butler, thanks for stopping by, Madison. Hi, Bruce. Kathy is saying, Kathy, oops, typo in today's title, laugh out loud. Oh, I didn't even notice. Let's see here. Randy Lucas, Yahoo, he's here. Welcome back, Randy. How you doing, buddy? Karen Lipson is here. Hi, Bruce, 102 today in Phoenix. Yikes, get the underarm deodorant out. Put on the air conditioning. Get the ice going. Get a nice, cool, icy drink. And find that ice cream. Get some ice cream and enjoy. Head for the pool for noodle time at, was it 3 o'clock is noodle time. That's where you go to the swimming pool with a long noodle and you hang out, shoot the breeze in the water. Welcome back, Karen Lipson from Phoenix. Kathy Butler, 80 degrees and raining here in Orlando. Tommy Eaton, hi, king of trivia, and all 83 and partly cloudy in Jacksonville, Florida, the king of trivia. Thank you. Tommy Eaton's giving me a thumbs up. Sebastian is here. Hi from Sapphire Princess. How you doing, Sebastian? How's it going? Are you on board right now? Where are you? Talk to me. Kathy Butler. Hi, Sebastian. Hope you're having a wonderful cruise. Sebastian, thanks, Kathy. The weather is great. Sebastian saying we are going to dinner at Sabatini's. Nice, nice. I think isn't that the steakhouse? If I got that right. Tina is here. Tina, hi. I'm back from the huge and spectacular Vista, 84 degrees and sun in Raleigh, North Carolina today. How was it? Did you have a good time? Where did you go? Talk to us, Tina. Odell, have fun, Sebastian. Sebastian, thanks, Tina. Tommy Eaton, where are you sailing to, Sebastian? Kathy, hi, Tina. How was the Vista? Sebastian saying we are going to Jersey Island, Guernsey Island, excuse me. La Rochelle, France. Bilbao, Spain. La Corona, Spain. Awesome. That's awesome stuff. Where do you finish up? Are you finishing up in Barcelona or Rome? Where do you end up your cruise? Tommy Eaton, wow, enjoy your cruise, Sebastian. Mary, hi, everyone. Feeling sad. I'm sitting here at San Juan Airport Waiting for my flight home to New Hampshire. Oh no, it's over. It's over. No, Mary, where were you? What ship were you on, and where did you go? Tell us about this cruise. Kathy Butler. Oh, Mary, how is San Juan since the hurricanes? What ship were you on? Tina, Kathy Butler. It was huge, beautiful, fun stuff everywhere. Amazing shows, but not enough outside seating with a breeze. Oh, isn't that interesting? Tina was talking about that ship. What ship were you on, Tina? I am looking. I'm back from the huge inspector. Vista. You were on the Vista, and you weren't happy with that. That's interesting. That's really interesting, Tina. Mary, you can still see some damage, such as broken street lights. This is in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Trees. I was on Adventures of the Seas. We saw lots of damage in Saint Martin, and I've been getting that from a number of you folks out there who've been telling us Saint Martin not looking good. Saint Thomas, there was damage, of course, and still evident. This destruction was kind of total. I mean, 90+% of the structures were affected, and in Saint Martin, it was bad, really bad. It's a miracle that Saint Martin is operating like it is, and that cruise ships are coming in. It's incredible. It's just amazing. Mary, thank you for that information. This is really cool. Tina Odell, Kathy Butler, Puerto Rico is still 10% no power. The rainforest had lots of damage. Still lots of blue tarps on roofs. Our tour guide was without power. He had no power for 3 months. Wow. Yeah. Third world country, United States territory. Unbelievable. Tracy Dunlop, I'm here unless my signal goes out on the road listening. Sunny and hot in Naples. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Debbie Manuel, hello and good day, all. Good morning, all West Coast friends. Overcast and low 80s again today. This is Chico, Northern California. Very long. Got to wait 56 days until to get on the bliss. 56 more days. Well, it's getting shorter every day. Jennifer Curry, Ottawa is sunny and 14. Jennifer, welcome back to the show. Great to have you. 14 Celsius. That's good. That's melting off whatever snow is left. Michelle Lucas, Cinco de Mayo. That's what we're taco about. Margaritas for all. Welcome back, Michelle. Fantastic. RD Con, those carpets need to be replaced. I think so. I've heard a report that some of them are being replaced right now. I wouldn't be surprised when they get to the port. The carpets are already waiting. They've probably already got them ordered up. They got them in stock. They've got them in a warehouse somewhere. They shipped them in there to New Orleans. And the minute that ship gets to the port at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, while the passengers are still asleep, they're already bringing on the new carpeting downstairs, measuring it up and getting ready to install it that day. I'm sure. Wouldn't surprise me at all. RD Con. Kathy Butler, I saw a photo that looked like they were already replacing carpet. I guess they keep spare carpet stored. Amazing how quickly they recovered from it. Yep, there's some carpeting on board. If they need more, they've got it. Tina Odell, RD Con, I'm an apartment manager. If they completely extricated the water, placed fans, and sprayed a mold treatment, then the carpet can stay. No need to replace it. Very interesting. That's interesting information. Tina, that's good news. Thank you, Tina. She's also saying a huge shout out to Carnival for the immediate refund and future credit. But see, this has its effects. Let me tell you, folks. Kathy Butler, don't forget to give Bruce a thumbs up. Kathy Butler, agree. Tina, impressed with Carnival. Thanks for the thumbs up, you guys. I really appreciate them. It's great. It helps the analytics of the channel. Love it. Love it. You regulars, you all know. Tracy Dunlop, you look funny, Bruce, when my phone freezes up and you have your mouth open and your hands out. At the end of the show, I have to post my video onto my channel, just like like a regular video, and I like to make a thumbnail for it. That's the one with the titling on it. And they give me suggestions. YouTube gives me suggestions out of my video. They kind of take a clip and they'll sort of make a free shot, and sometimes it'll be like, I never use those. I try to use shots where I'm smiling, or there's a cruise ship, maybe, anything but me. I don't want to scare people away. I want to attract people to the show. I mean, geez, yes, but when it freezes up, it can be kind of kooky. Mary, Adventure of the Seas was great. My only complaint was the nasty coffee. Laugh out loud. Not good, huh? Not good coffee. Was that the coffee like in the restaurants and the buffet? Or was the coffee bad at the bistro bar? Don't tell us that. Hopefully the bistro was okay. The nasty coffee. Laugh out loud. Scylla Baker. So how's life? Scylla Baker, how are you? Welcome back to the show. If you haven't been here before, I can't remember the last time you were here. Might have been a while. How you doing out there? Nina Frank, hi, Bruce and all. I'm sure 20 Celsius on my balcony for sure. Oh, for sure, 20 Celsius on my balcony right now, even though it's 8:30 in the evening. Wow, that's nice. 20 Celsius in Sweden. Nice going, Nina Frank. That's fantastic weather. You gotta love that. Summer is coming and with a vengeance. Wonderful. I know here in Creston, we're getting longer days. It's really noticeable. Sunsets are now past 8 o'clock. Love it. Definitely love it. Mary, it was the coffee everywhere. She said it was awful. It was, isn't that? Found that interesting. I know that someone told me once about the coffee in the buffets and the coffee. Again, it's not every cruise line, but some of them, where the coffee is actually made of it's like hot water mixed in with a concentrated syrup. It's like a coffee syrup that they bring in these massive containers, and then they just hook them into a machine, and they pair the machine up with a hot water line, or a hot water comes into a machine that makes it hot. There might be like a gallon or two constantly being heated, and then as you put your cup under the machine, you hit the button, and the coffee comes out, and it's syrup mixed with hot water to give you the mixture of coffee. Yum. Doesn't that sound great? Yeah. But you can understand that if you're trying to feed 2,000 people in an hour and a half through a buffet, and you've got 4 or 5 stations where you have tea and coffee and what have you, you're talking about gazillions of gallons of coffee, gallazillions. And if they had a coffee maker there that made maybe 10 gallons at a time, or 2 gallons, or whatever those units were, those restaurant size units, you'd have some poor schlep sitting there with these paper filters and these bags pouring in the coffee all the time. They'd be just standing there making coffee nonstop. The cruise line would have to have like 6 of these guys doing that all the time, plus the same coffee stations throughout the rest of the ship at the other restaurants. You might have 20 people that do nothing but make coffee 2 or 3 gallons at a time. Very, very cost inefficient. And they figure, well, let's go mechanical, and why don't we just have the coffee pre-made in a factory setting somewhere in bulk, and then we'll just bring in these massive containers. That might be a 1 gallon container of coffee syrup that is equal to making 100 gallons of coffee per gallon, just by mixing in the hot water. The logistics of making coffee. That's why I love to go to the Starbucks on board or the bistro, and I see them grounding the coffee on the grinder, and then they're putting it under the machine and dripping a coffee in it. That's why it's $5 a cup or $4 a cup or whatever the deal is. Just the way it goes. The coffee. Michelle Lucas is saying Bruce is so sporting his Nemo look. I'm doing it. Okay, no, she said, hang on. It's Sila. Sila said, you're saying my name wrong. It's Sila. Okay, thank you for that. I'll do the best I can. Sila Baker. I'll do the best I can from now on. Thank you, Mary. It was the coffee everywhere. Jennifer Curry on the Epic and Escape. The coffee was brutal, just brutal. Kathy, I've seen a few complaints about the regular coffee on Royal Caribbean. Sila, do a flip. What are you talking about? Tina Odell, you should try coffee on Amtrak. The smell made me sick. Yuck. Mary, next cruise, we're bringing instant coffee with us. Laugh out loud. Bringing our own. Nina Frank, good eye to Mary, or good eye, Mary. Debbie Manuel, my mom carries her coffee from home. Brews away in the cabin because the coffee was never great on board. Isn't that something? Yeah, you make your own coffee because the coffee on board sucks. Isn't that something? Kathy, I can tell when my favorite sweet iced tea is not brewed and made from concentrate. Can't stand tea from concentrate. Yuck. I can't blame you there. Yeah, absolutely. That's got to be just brutal. Jennifer Curry, never thought of that. Good idea, Debbie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's ways to get around this stuff. Carries her coffee from home, brews away in her cabin because the coffee is never great on board. So, some of these cruise ships will provide a coffee maker on board, but they're designed for those one-offs, like those individual cups only, or they're like the hotel kind, in the hotel you get the coffee maker that's about 8 inches high, and it makes 1 cup at a time, and you have the coffee inside of a paper filter. The whole thing is a filter. and then you put that in there, you close it, you pour your cup in, you hit the button, makes one cup at a time. Crap, right? Still crap, kind of. Coffee. It's one of those things. Jennifer, never thought of that. Sela, sing "Wrecking Ball" by Miley Cyrus. Sela, I got a question for you. Are you at all affiliated, or do you know Madison? Are you and Madison from the same tribe? Are you of that age group? Have I got someone here who is like under 15? And welcome. I'm glad you're here. I love it. This is fantastic. Miley Sela, you show me a picture of Miley Cyrus. I might not know who that is. I'm old. I'm antique. I'm telling you, Sela, I'm an antique guy. Kathy was suddenly Bruce is a kid magnet. I love it. I think it's great. Sela, I'm glad you're here. This is so much fun. Sela, I'm a fan of music. I really am. But just like all old people like me, we have our favorites. And when I was kind of your age, I had my favorites back then. And my parents looked at me and went, what do you listen to that crap for? Why didn't you listen to Benny Goodman? Why didn't you listen to these guys? This is real music. You're listening to crap. I say, hey, whatever you like, Sela, you like and enjoy it, love it, because a couple of years down the road, you're going to be as old as me. And wait till you get to be my age and you get to talk to people that are 15 and 20 years old. Oh my goodness, is your world going to go upside down? You're not going to believe it. It's unbelievable, Sela. I love it. Nina Frank, all right, to pay for a good cup of fresh coffee if it comes with a nice pastry. Yeah, I agree with that, And Nina, Sela, you see what we talk about? We talk about coffee, pastry, but we also talk about music. I'm glad you're here. This is fantastic. Today, we got some trivia. And I thought I would start off with a little trivia question first. And then I was going to give you guys a big trivia question. And we'll see how you guys do on both of these. I think these are kind of fun. We're going to have to see how well you do on this first one, because this one's got, it's got some history to it. So, Sela, this might be a little over your head, but then again, it's worthy of a try. You never know. You might be into this. I don't know. Here's the first question. All right, it's one guess per try. So if you're sending me a message, just one guess, and then send me another guess if you want right away. But don't send me 4 guesses, one back on the same message. There are 10 correct answers to this trivia question that I'm going to throw you guys, and let's see how you guys do with this one. It's basically I want to know if you can tell me the top 10 best-selling cars of all time. Can you tell me what the top 10 vehicles of all time are? Now, for those of you who are kind of my age, you may want to just go back to the kind of vehicles you once owned. What did you once own, and did you see them everywhere? Well, that's probably a top 10 seller. Let's see what we got. Auntie Jane just came by. Good morning, everyone. 6 a.m. here. I love coffee. Auntie Jane is in New Zealand. Welcome to the show, Auntie Jane. Kathy Butler's thinking Chevy. Now, Chevy is a brand. I'm looking for an exact model. So Nina Frank is thinking Volvo. I'm thinking of an exact car, an actual brand vehicle. Like here's Jim Thomas. Here's an example right here. Ford Mustang. There's a car. Now, Ford sold a ton of Mustangs. They really did. But the Ford Mustang was never a top 10 seller in its lifetime. All the Mustangs added up don't make the top 10 list, just so you know. It probably made the top 50, but not the top 10. Debbie Manuel is thinking about a Camaro. I had a Camaro and loved my Camaro, but it's not a top 10 either. Neither is the Mustang. Kathy Butler, do we need a model too? Just a model. Here's a guess. Michelle Lucas, the Pinto, the Ford Pinto. It could have been a number 1 or number 10, but once that reputation came out that if you just touched the back fender, it would blow up. It stopped the car dead in its tracks. So it never became a top 10 all-time seller. Auntie Jane, no! Ford Capri. She's thinking Ford Capri. That's a good guess, but nope, not on the list yet. Nina Frank, Volvo 242. If you want me to go for a Volvo, I'll go for a Volvo 242. No, it didn't make the list. No Volvo has made the top 10 all-time list. Here we go. Debbie Manuel saying Model T back in the day, the Model T is actually on the list. It's the number 9 all-time selling car of all time. 16.5 million approximately sold all time. The Model T is one of the top 10. Kathy Butler, Jeep Grand Cherokee. They're everywhere. Yeah, they are, but no, they haven't sold enough to be a top 10. Tommy Eaton's thinking Mercedes-Benz. Any Benz out there? No, it's got to have a specific model. Rolls-Royce, Auntie Jane. No, I don't think 16.5 million Rolls-Royces have ever been sold all time. I don't think so. No. Paula K. Hi, Bruce and all. Paula K. Welcome to the show. We're guessing top 10 car models sold all time without going to Google and cheating. And we've got a guess here from Jim Thomas. He's thinking the Ford Escort. And the Ford Escort is the number 7 selling car of all time. 18 million. It sells in Europe. It sells in North America. It sells in South America. 18 million. It is in the top 10 list. Kathy Butler, how about the Honda Accord? Yes, the Honda Accord is the number 8 selling model. 18 plus million sold in the Accord's life. Yes, the Honda Accord. They've been making that car for, 30 years? Unbelievably successful car. Paul is thinking, Paula K is going after the Ford Taurus. And not quite. It's up there, but it is in the top 10. But they sold a ton of those. Kathy Butler, the Ford F-150. Yeah. The Ford is the number 2 all-time sold vehicle. The Ford F-Series truck. 40 million plus have been sold since they've been using that brand name since the 60s, at least the 60s. That is incredible. Kathy Butler, Chevy Camaro. Nope, didn't make it. Tommy Eaton, Toyota Camry. Yeah, the Toyota. Is that on here? I'm going to double check. I might be wrong. No, the Camry isn't on there. It's almost on there. It's like a top 12, top 15 model. Camrys have been made everywhere. Volkswagen Beetle, a.k.a. the Bug from Kathy Butler. Yeah, the Beetle is the number 3 car. No, number 4 car, pardon me. 23.5 million Beetles were sold during the lifetime of that car in its initial version. They still make them today, but they're really not the same anymore. But, they still carry the name. 23.5 million Beetles. We're looking for some more models. You guys are starting to zero in on them now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. And I got to tell you that all of them are imports as far as Americans are concerned. There's no Chevy, there's no Ford, and there's no GM product in the top 10 because we're talking about worldwide sales. And that's where the imports have got it over the Americans. We got a Volkswagen Golf from Nina Frank. Yep, the Golf was the number 3 all-time seller, 30 million. An incarnation of the Golf was the Rabbit. And how many Volkswagen Rabbits were sold? A gazillion. 30 plus million of those, outselling the Beetle. Honda Civic. Karen Lipshin is going to Honda Civic. Yeah, number 6 all-time. 18 million plus sales of the Honda Civic. Number 6 all-time. We've got the number 1 car we're waiting for. We're waiting for the number 5 car. We're waiting for the number 10 car. We've already got the Ford F-Series truck. We got the VW Golf. We've got the VW Beetle. We've got the Honda Civic, the Ford Escort, the Honda Accord, and the Ford Model T. We need a couple of more. How about the Mini? Auntie Jane is thinking about the Austin Mini or just the Mini. Nope, the Mini didn't sell enough to make the top 10. Many were sold, though. Many Minis were sold. Think about your first car out of college. Think about your first car in college. Think about the cars in the parking lot, the college parking lot, when you went to school back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Think about that. Let's see what we got here. Chevy Impala. No. Toyota CPRPA. I don't know what that is. Auntie Jane has corrected it to the Corolla. Yes. The Toyota Corolla, the number 1 selling car of all time. 40 plus million cars all time since the 60s. The Corolla nameplate still exists today. Unbelievable, the transformation. You see a picture of a 1965 Corolla to a 2018 Corolla. Wow, what a difference. but the Corolla's still around. The Celica, Pamela's thinking about the Toyota Celica. No, it never reached those lofty numbers. It was the higher-end two-door luxury sports coupe that they produced eventually, but they don't make it anymore, I don't think. Tommy Eaton, mine was a Ford Pinto. Oh, Tommy, I'm so glad you're alive. My mother had a Pinto. Kept it for 4 or 5 years, sold it off as a rust bucket. It was a piece of crap. A 74 Pinto. What a piece of garbage that thing was. It was nice when it was brand new, but oh, it was a piece of garbage. Vinyl seats. Remember the vinyl seats? Oh, the heat. You'd stick to those. Oh, they were bad. The Yugo. Jim Thomas is thinking about the Yugo. And Auntie Jane, I got one, huh? Jennifer's going to the Model T, which we've had. I've got 2 left to get. One is a Volkswagen, and one is from Russia. One from the sort of the other side of the Soviet wall, the Berlin Wall. Wonder if you guys can pick this one off. A VW car, 16 million plus sales, and the car from the other side of the wall, over 20 million sold. See if either of you get the brand name. Tommy Eaton is still holding on to a Ford Thunderbirds. No, they sold a lot of them. They really did. Yeah. You remember the Monte Carlos and the Novas? They sold a ton of those, but not in the top 10 all time for car sales. The Volkswagen Jetta. How about the Jetta? No, very close though. There's another Volkswagen that they have that is out there. The Volkswagen van. Oh, good guess too. The camper van, right? The Thing. Debbie Manuel. Remember the Thing? I do remember the Thing. Oh my gosh. Lincoln Continental. Jennifer's thinking U.S. She just can't get off the U.S. trademark label there. No, we're talking imports. The Lincoln Continental. If we wanted to count how many cylinders were the all-time most selling cylinders, 8 at a time on the Lincoln, maybe we got something. Versus 4 for these other cars. Oh my goodness. I need a Volkswagen brand name car, and I need a car from could have been Yugoslavia. It could have been I know it certainly was the Soviet Union. This is a bit of a tough one. Datsun. That's there's another good guess from Karen Lipschen. Remember the Datsun B210 and the Datsun cars. Oh, I can't remember the brands of them anymore. I used to remember the logo, the jingle with Datsun. We are driven. Remember that? We are driven. I love watching these old 70s and 60s car commercials on YouTube. You ever want to get some fun? Watch some of those. You can't believe how the car people were trying to sell those cars. Garbage. And yet they try to tell us they were the greatest things ever. Yugo, T1, T1 not quite. Volkswagen, think about the letter P for Volkswagen. Here, Karen's got it. Lada, the Lada for the Soviet version car. The Lada is kind of a hybrid car. It was produced on a Fiat platform. It was called the Fiat 124, I believe it was. Then Fiat sold the rights or they offered a license to Lada to make these Lada cars on the same platform that the Fiats were on. 20 plus million Ladas and Fiats were produced over the lifetime of those cars. Crap. But they survived. They were tough, though. They were tough cars. 20 plus million. On the Volkswagen, I'm looking for the car that starts with a VW with a letter P. Anybody know what that is? Debbie Manuel, 280Z. Thought that car was a bomb. The Mazda MX-5 from Nina Frank, another one. Yeah, the 280Z was a hot car, but boy, they rusted out fast. Remember those? Oh, they didn't last long. There were the 240s, and there were other models of Mazdas like that. Auntie Jane, Humber 80. Humber 80? What's that? No idea what that is. I'm looking for the Volkswagen Passat, people. That's a lot of Lada. The Volkswagen Passat was the 10th selling car all time, 16 million, mostly in the U.S. In Europe, excuse me, but U.S. and Canada, some. Used to have one, Nina Frank is saying, the Mazda MX-5. Peugeot, lots were sold. The Passat, Kathy Butler just came in with the Passat. Here are the top 10 all-time selling models of automobiles. The Corolla, the Toyota Corolla, still selling today, 40 million plus. The Ford F-Series pickup truck, still selling that vehicle, 40 million plus. Volkswagen Golf, 30 million. The Beetle, 23.5. The Lada in all carnations, 20 plus million. Saw many Ladas in Cuba on my March cruise. RD Con is saying, Auntie Jane, that's a car model. Laugh out loud. Auntie Jane Triumph. There's another one. The number 6 car, the Honda Civic. The number 7 Ford Escort. The number 8 Honda Accord. I had one in the Cayman Islands. Steering wheel on the opposite side. Ford Model T, 16.5 million. And the VW Passat, 16 million. Someone said Jetta earlier. The Jetta is a bit smaller than the Passat. The Passat's a little larger. It's more of a full-size car. They call that a saloon car. Saloon. S-A-L-O-O-N, the saloon. Chevy K car. No, that wasn't the Chevy K. That was the Pontiac K car. The Dodge Aries and the Chrysler K, Series K car. Front wheel drive. I had that car in 86. I think I had that car, the K car. Sold it a few years later. Very interesting collection of automobiles. That is our first trivia question of the day, and that's actually the easy one. Well, actually, it's harder than the next one because the next one I've made it easy for you, and I think we're going to have some fun with this next one. Our next and our last trivia. They're only doing 2 today, but this one here, get ready, kids. This trivia is 4 trivia questions all rolled into 1 trivia question. And there are answers in this trivia question where you'll give me the answer and it's a correct answer in all 4 of the trivias, or all 3 or 2 or just 1. So you'll get the drift in just a sec when I explain this to you. But I'm just going to some more messages here. Auntie Jane, Lucky Bean is not here. He would have got them all. It's a good thing Lucky Bean wasn't here. I don't know. Maybe Auntie Jane, he might have been good on the cards. Jim Thomas, can you can Model T any colors? Yes, you can order a Model T in any color you wanted as long as it was black. That's right. That was the slogan from Ford way back when. Order any color you want as long as it's black. We'll make it for you. You betcha. Tommy Eaton's Saloon, that's a place to drink. That's true. Some people, unfortunately, would mix the car and the drinking together, and that would cause problems. And in today's world, that causes big problems. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. How are we doing? We got 17 thumbs up so far. Thank you for the thumbs ups, you guys. I appreciate it. We're looking good. All right, let's go for the next one. Here comes the big one. We've got a trivia question here where there are 40 correct answers. However, it's actually 4 trivia questions with 10 correct answers each. And in some cases, 1 answer will give you 4 correct answers. So this shouldn't take too long, but we'll see how this goes. All right, here we go. Here's the question, everybody. Get ready. I want you to tell me the most populated USA cities, the largest, most populated United States cities from these 4 years, from 1800, 1850, 1900, and 1950. What were the 10 largest cities in each of those years in the United States? Some are the same answer. So we'll see how we do. Hope you can keep track. I think I can. I've kind of all written out here. I'll do the best I can. Let's see what cities you guys come up with that were the largest cities in the United States starting in 1800, 1850, 1900, and 1950. And let's see what we have. Kathy Butler is thinking about the San Francisco in California. San Francisco was the 9th largest city in the United States in 1900. But it didn't make the list in 1950, and it wasn't on the list before 1900 as a top 10. Isn't that something? Plymouth. Pamela Jordan is thinking Plymouth. She's going way back. We're talking old school here, and we're going for Plymouth. No, Plymouth was never a top 10 city in these specific years. Now, Plymouth may have been a big city in 1650 or 1700, but by 1800, it wasn't in the top 10. No. And Debbie Manuel is thinking Los Angeles. Los Angeles in 1950 was the 4th largest city in the United States. In 1950, prior to 1950, LA wasn't in the top 10. That's a shocker. Karen Lipschen is thinking, you're giving me two guesses. You can't give me two guesses in one answer. You can only give me one answer per guess. I'll take your first answer, New York. And New York was the largest city in 1950, in 1900, in 1850, and in 1800. New York was number one all four times. New York was number one. Jacksonville, Florida, from Tommy Eaton. Jacksonville, Florida. I do not believe Jacksonville ever was a top 10 city in any of those four particular years. No, didn't come in. Debbie thought New York. We got New York across the board. Auntie Jane got New York. Brittany Lockwood is here, and Brittany's breaking all the rules. Brittany, you can only give me one answer per guess, and you gave me four. You can't do that. The first one you gave me, I'll take. The rest, you have to send those in individually. I'm so strict, Brittany. I'm sorry. Brittany Lockwood came in with New Orleans. What about New Orleans? Was that ever a top 10 city in any of those years? In 1800, New Orleans was not a top 10 city. In 1850, however, New Orleans was the number 5 largest city in the United States. And by 1900, New Orleans was off the map. And in 1950, still off the map. So New Orleans only came in once, 1850, as the 5th largest city. Jim Thomas is guessing Dallas. Dallas, Texas, Dallas. It was not on the top 10 in 1950. Dallas was not in the top 10 in 1900. Dallas is not in the top 10 in 1850 or in 1800. Dallas was not on the list at all. Brittany Lockwood now is coming in with New York, and we've already done it. We've got New York, Brittany, so give me another guess. Karen Lipschen, Boston. What about Boston? In 1800, Boston was the 4th largest city. In 1850, Boston was the 3rd largest city. In 1900, Boston was the 5th largest city. And in 1950, Boston was number 10, just hanging on the top 10 as America was moving west. Isn't that something? Pamela Jordan, how about Philadelphia? The city of brotherly love. Yep, Philly was number 2 in 1800. In 1850, Philadelphia was number 4. In 1850, Philly was number 3. And in 1950, Philly was still hanging on to number 3. It was. Jim Thomas, Houston. What about Houston? Houston in 1950 was not on the list. 1900, not on the list. 1850, not on the list. And in 1800, not on the list. That's something. Houston was not a top 10 city until recently, in recent history, let's say. Tommy Eaton, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Let's just go right over there. Head to Santa Fe, New Mexico. I got bad news. Never made the top 10 ever in those 4 years. Wasn't on the top 10. Karen Lipschen is going for Chicago. 1950, Chicago was the 2nd largest city in the United States. 1900, Chicago was the 2nd largest city in the United States. 1850, Chicago was not in the top 10. 1800, Chicago was not in the top 10. How about that? Brittany Lockwood, this is my first time. It's okay, Brittany. It's all good. We're all here for the first time. Just give me one guess per entry, and you're good to go. No worries at all. Welcome, Brittany, to the show. Glad you're here. Kathy Butler, welcome, Brittany. Brittany. R.D. Kahn, what about Baltimore? Is Baltimore a city that's going to rank? Yep. No, 1800, 3rd largest city in the United States was Baltimore. In 1850, Baltimore was the 2nd largest city in the United States. How about that? 1900, Baltimore had dropped to number 6. And in 1950, Baltimore hung on to number 6. There you go. Kathy Butler smiling. Karen Lipschen, how about Atlanta? Atlanta, Georgia. Beautiful place. Great town. Didn't make the list in 1950. Atlanta, Georgia didn't make the list in 1900. 1850, Atlanta was not on the list. And in 1800, Atlanta was not on the list. So how about them apples? How about Phoenix? Karen Lipschen's thinking, what about Phoenix? That's a big place. And it is today a very big place. But in 1950, nope. In 1900, 1850, 1800, Phoenix did not make it in the top 10. They're in top 10 now, but not back then. Isn't that something? Brittany Lockwood, I had to guess a city from the state in which I live. I mean, come on. Brittany, you can guess any city you want, any state you want. It's all good, Brittany. Keep guessing. Kathy Butler, you live in New York, Brittany? Brittany's thinking, how about Denver? How about Denver? Nope, didn't make the list in 1950 or 1900 or in 1850 or 1800. Denver had not made it yet. They're big now, but not back then. Debbie Manuel, welcome, Brittany. We're all welcoming you, Brittany. It's great to have you here. Kathy Butler, wow, Colorado is so beautiful. Brittany Lockwood, nope, Louisiana. She says she lives in Louisiana. That's why she guessed New Orleans. Well done. Let's see here. Karen Lipschen, Brooklyn. Yeah, the city of Brooklyn, before it merged with New York, Brooklyn made the top 10 once. 1850, it was the 7th largest city in the United States. After 1850 into 1900, it was now part of New York. And prior to 1800, Brooklyn was not in the top 10. Only once did Brooklyn rank in this survey right here. Nina Frank, New Orleans, we've done it. Debbie Manuel, Kansas City. Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Kansas City did not make the list in 1800 or in 1850. Kansas City wasn't on the list in 1900. Kansas City wasn't on the list in 1950. Nope. Kathy Butler, oops. Brooklyn. Kathy Butler, Des Moines, Iowa? No, Des Moines, Iowa didn't make it. Jennifer Curry, how about Washington, the capital of the United States? I mean, come on. In 1950, Washington was the 9th largest city in the United States of America. Prior to 1950, Washington wasn't even in the top 10 anywhere. Nope, Washington was not there. It was a swamp. You know that? It was a swamp. Who wants to live in the swamp? Brittany Lockwood, St. Louis. What about St. Louis? Well, in 1950, St. Louis was the 8th largest city in the United States. 1900, St. Louis was the 4th largest city in the United States. In 1850, St. Louis was the 8th largest city in the United States. And in 1800, St. Louis did not rank, was not in the top 10. But from 1850 on, St. Louis was. For a time, St. Louis was a very, very big place. Tommy Eaton, L.A. We've already got Los Angeles. Kathy Butler, Seattle, Washington. What about Seattle? In 1950, Seattle wasn't on the list. 1900, not on the list. 1850, not on the list. 1800, not on the list. Seattle, not on the list in these times. Sacramento, definitely not on the list. Karen Lipschen, Washington, we just covered. Tommy, Washington, we just did it. Kathy, I stink at this one. Laugh out loud. Karen Lipschen, Charleston. What about Charleston? There's a city from way back. 5th largest city in 1800 in the United States. Charleston did not make the list in 1850. 1900, not on the list. 1950, not on the list. One time. Auntie Jane, me too, Kathy Butler. St. Louis, just got it. Richmond, Virginia, from Pamela Jordan. What about Richmond? Richmond did not make the list in 1800 or 1850 or 1900 or 1950. Nope, Richmond didn't make it. San Diego, California, Kathy Butler. What about San Diego? San Diego was not on the list in 1800, not on the list in 1850, not on the list in 1900, not on the list in 1950. San Diego was not yet on the list. Queens, Jim Thomas, Queens, never made the list. No, never, not once. Kathy Butler, D.C. is still a swamp. Laugh out loud. Yes, it is. Nina Frank, Washington is still a swamp. Tommy Eaton, El Paso. How about El Paso, Texas? All kinds of history in El Paso. All kinds of people in El Paso. Not in 1950. Not in 1900. Not in 1850. And not in 1800. El Paso, not on the list. Auntie J, Miami. What about Miami? Didn't make the list anywhere. Nope, not Miami. Jennifer Curry, filled with Politico swamp monsters. Well, they come and they go, you know. Auntie Jane, Las Vegas. What about Las Vegas? Nope, didn't make the list at all. A little early. We're just a little early for Las Vegas. They've grown, but lately, not from way back. Boston, we did, Tracy. Reno never was on the list either. Tommy never made it. Let's see here. We've still got a bunch to go. Here are the correct answers so far. New York City, across the board, is number one. Philadelphia made the list each and every time. Baltimore made the list across the board. Boston has made the list across the board. Charleston only one time. We've got New Orleans making the list in 1850, but not making the list since. We've got Brooklyn making the list one time in 1850, but then it merged into New York. St. Louis, we've got St. Louis in 1850. We've got St. Louis in 1900, and St. Louis hung on in 1950. Then we've got Chicago from 1900 and 1950. We've got Baltimore, of course, across the board. We've got San Francisco in 1900 and only 1900 because in 1906, they had the earthquake and San Francisco's population dropped badly. And it's recovered now, but not by 1950 to make the list again. 1950, though, we've got Washington on the list that finally made it in. So in 1950, I still need 2 cities. I've got New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Baltimore, St. Louis, Washington, and Boston. There's 2 cities in 1950 I haven't got yet. Let's see what other guesses we've got. They're still coming in here. Reno, Sacramento, Dallas didn't make it. Austin didn't make it. Baton Rouge, Louisiana did not make it. Bakersfield, we're going back to Bakersfield. Nope, didn't make it. Cleveland, what about Cleveland? Was Cleveland ever a top 10 city on these lists? Yes, in 1900, Cleveland was the 7th largest city. And in 1950, Cleveland was the 7th largest city. But in 1850, Cleveland hadn't made it yet, but they did make it in the last 2 surveys. Salt Lake City from Karen. Nope, Salt Lake City didn't make the list ever. We've got Pittsburgh being guessed here. Pittsburgh had a growth spurt, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like Pittsburgh ever made it into a top 10 setting. Pittsburgh never quite got there. Dodge City, no. Omaha, no, didn't make it either. Back in 1800, let's go back to 1800. I got some doozies for you guys. I have 3 cities that, well, 2 cities back in 1800 that became part of Philadelphia. So if anybody's watching from the Philadelphia area, talk to me about suburbs of Philadelphia. Maybe you'll nail one of these. Let's see what we got going here. Dodge City, Omaha, Raleigh. Raleigh did not make the list. No, Raleigh did not make the list. Confederate City. Minneapolis. What about Minneapolis? It's a big place now, but Minneapolis never was not in the top 10 in any of these surveys. Did not make it. If you're thinking of a 1970s sitcom show, a comedy show about a radio station, you might get a city that I'm thinking about here. St. Paul didn't make the list either, unfortunately. Thinking about a city that had a radio station. Peter just told me he received his T-shirt in the mail. Really liked the design. Fantastic. Peter got a T-shirt. Fantastic. Thank you, Peter, for letting me know. St. Paul. Karen Lipschen, WKRP in Cincinnati. Cincinnati was the 6th largest city in the United States in 1850. Cincinnati was the 10th largest city in 1900, but by 1950, it had fallen out of the top 10. WKRP, you got it. Detroit, Kathy Butler's got Detroit. The 5th largest city in the United States in 1950 was Detroit. Detroit had not made the list prior to that. It was not a top 10 prior to 1950. How about that? Charlottesville didn't make the list. Auntie Jane in Cincinnati. Brittany Lockwood, Lebanon. Nope, Lebanon didn't make the list either. Minnesota from Nina Frank, great state. Minnesota, great state, but for a city, doesn't count. Jim Thomas thinking Cincinnati. So we now have all the cities from 1950. We got New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Detroit, Baltimore, Cleveland, St. Louis, Washington, Boston. We got them. 1900, we're 1 away. We've got New York, Chicago, Philly, St. Louis, Boston, Baltimore, Cleveland, a blank. San Francisco and Cincinnati. 1850, we've got New York, Baltimore, Boston, Philly, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Brooklyn, St. Louis. Then there are 2 blanks. And in 1800, we got New York, Philly, Baltimore, Boston, Charleston, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks on the bottom. We're looking for guesses. Cam Wilson, yay, you're still streaming. We're doing trivia, Cam. Hey, everybody. Cam, the largest cities in the United States in 1800, 1850, 1900, and 1950 is what we're looking for. Tommy Eaton, Charlotte. We're wondering about Charlotte. Nope, Charlotte has not made the list back then. It's kind of getting there now, but not back then. Nashville. What about Nashville? Good guess. But no, Nashville was growing, but not a top 10 city. Hola, Cam Wilson. Hola, Auntie Jane. Auntie Jane, this is because we cannot get the answers, Cam, laughing out loud. That's why we're still on the air. Can't get the answers to this one. Cherry Hill. Tommy Eaton's thinking Cherry Hill. No. Albany. Yes. Brittany Lockwood. Albany, New York was the 10th largest city in the United States in 1850, the only time it made the list. Today, I don't know if Albany is in the top 50 anymore. It's that small compared to the rest of the country. Kathy Butler, Norfolk, Virginia. Yep, number 10 on the list in 1800. Made the list one time in 1800. Cam Wilson, I'm already stumped, laughing out loud. Pamela Jordan, Savannah, Georgia. Didn't make the list, but important, but didn't make the list. We've got one city left in 1900. It only made the list once, and it was in 1900, and it is the forgotten city in New York State. What city in New York State, other than New York and Brooklyn, would have made the top 10 list? Let me know. Virginia Beach is being guessed. Nope, Virginia Beach never made it. Jamestown didn't make it. Roanoke, Virginia didn't make it in the top 10. But this city made it in 1950. New York State. We're coming here. Atlantis? How about Atlantis? The forgotten city of Atlantis. Tommy Eaton, Roanoke, Virginia, never made the top 10 in these 4 years. No. What city in New York State would have made it? Kathy Butler's got it. Buffalo, New York was the 8th largest city in the United States in 1900. They probably thought they were on their way. They'd made it to number 8. From there, they were going to go right up there. Never happened. They topped out, and by 1950, Buffalo was not a top 10 anymore. Already backed up. Passed by cities from the West. But going back now, 1850, I've got one city left, and that city was also a top 10 city. It was only a top 10 city once in 1850. Pardon me. In 1800, I have 4 cities that were top 10 cities, and I don't think you folks are going to get them. We've got Rochester being guessed. Rochester was never a top 10, but that's a good guess for New York. Very good guess. Today, 360,000 in Rochester. Good size city. I love studying cities, as you can figure out. We're talking about, in 2 cases, suburbs of Philadelphia. Maybe even in 3 cases, suburbs of Philadelphia. And then I'm looking for a city in Massachusetts, and I'm looking for a city in Rhode Island. That's a big giveaway. A big city in Rhode Island. What could it be? Let's see if we get it here. We have 4 guesses left. 3 from 1800, 1 from 1850. And we'll see if anyone can figure out what city is a big city in Rhode Island. Today, it's still Rhode Island's largest city, but it is not a top 10 today. It was a top 10 in 1800. Spring Garden District, Brittany Lockwood. Yes. Brittany, are you looking up this stuff on Google? Are you checking this stuff out? Because if you are, you're cheating, you know. Spring Garden, Pennsylvania, was a suburb today of Philadelphia. It was the 9th largest city in 1850 of the United States of America, unto itself. And Philly at the time was the 4th largest. How about that? Quahog? What about Quahog? Providence, Rhode Island. Kathy, you got it. Providence, Rhode Island was the 9th largest city in 1800 and never made the top 10 list again. But yes, it was. In 1800, we have 2 cities, one in Massachusetts where the witches came from. There were witches discovered in this town in 1800 or prior to 1800, I think, in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, a little ways. I'm wondering if you guys can nail it. And there are 2 suburbs of Philadelphia, and I'm about to give them up to you because these are obscure spots. Salem, here we go. Pamela got Salem. Salem, Massachusetts, was the 8th largest city in 1800 of the United States. Salem, very good. The other 2 cities in 1800 that made the list, The sixth largest city in the United States was a place called Northern Liberties. And the seventh largest city to make the list was called Southwark, Southwark, Southwark. Those were two top 10 cities in 1800 that never made the list again. Those are the 40. Well done. New York made the list each time. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Boston, they made the list each time. And after that, we had different cities coming and going in the top 10 cities across America. How about that? Not too shabby, you guys. Well done. I appreciate you participating today. I hope you had fun with that. Thanks for joining me today on my show. Thanks for all your support, visiting my store, and letting me know that your product has arrived safe and sound. Thanks for picking up a t-shirt, Traveling with Bruce, and a coffee mug or a travel mug, whatever. Thanks for Super Chat donations. Thanks for PayPal donations. Any of you out there who are watching this show on a rerun, PayPal donations can be made anytime you get the urge to help Bruce out 24/7, whereas Super Chats can only be made during the show. And I prefer PayPal over Super Chats because 93 cents of the dollar comes my way. Thanks for the thumbs ups today. We got some, I'm sure. Last I checked, we were at 17? I got 21 thumbs ups now. Thank you for 21 thumbs ups. And thanks for staying around for the show today. I really appreciate you joining me and for the comments on these stories that are making the cruise ships right now. Pamela, bye all. See you next time. Kathy Butler, safe travels. Bruce, Kathy Butler, happy cruising, everyone. Cam Wilson, see you all later. I'm back on the air Monday, 5 o'clock Eastern time for my next show. I'll be on Tuesday at 5 and 8, but I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. So I'll only be on the next couple of days, starting Monday and Tuesday. Andy Jane, bye. I'm going to look up random city stuff of USA. Laugh out loud. Debbie Manuel, okay, off to set up my PayPal account. Have a great weekend, Bruce and everybody. Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 5 o'clock. Have a nice day off tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.